Hey guys, Wolfman here with another HEX TCG video, and this time I'm doing a sort of a commentary of a game that was played about a week ago on HEX's Twitch channel, and they played 3 games there, but 2 of them weren't very good, so I decided to commentate on this one. Yeah, hopefully it will be interesting for you guys and helpful as well. Game is between an orc and a human player. Human player here mulligans because he didn't have a great starting hand. This one is actually pretty decent. It has a 1-drop and 3-drop and 3 resources. He's playing a sort of a rather fast, aggressive deck, whereas the orc player is playing more of a control deck, which is only the blood shard type. Turn 1 for the human player. Plays a diamond resource and plays a Kraken Guild Mariner, which is a pretty good 1-drop because he inspires everyone else that enters the battlefield after him to have a +1 defense. Guild Mariner is a 1/1 creature for 1, and he has Inspire. Inspire means that whenever another creature with cost equal or higher than his cost enters the battlefield, it gets some sort of a boost. In this case, it gets +0/+1, which means it gets 1 defense. Human player here is playing a resource and attacks with his Guild Mariner because he doesn't have anything else to do and there's nothing in his way, so he just attacks. He's planning on playing his Lord Alexander next turn probably. He plays a Bone Warrior. Bone Warrior is a 2-cost creature with 1 attack and 2 defense. Whenever it is dealt fatal damage, it doesn't go to the graveyard, but it transforms into a pile of bones, which cannot attack or block. But you can pay 4, and you can revert it back to Bone Warrior. Human player here draws a Pyromancer, which is a pretty good card. It is a 2-cost 2/1 creature, which inspires other creatures to have +1 attack. Human player here drops the Pyromancer instead of the Lord of Alexander because he wants to gain as much value from his Pyromancer as possible. Because next turn when he plays his Lord Alexander, he will get boosted by both the Guild Mariner and the Pyromancer, so he'll enter the battlefield as a 4/2 creature. And it's currently the the Orc player's turn. He has 3 resources, and we'll see what he has. Let's now place a Mango Zombie, which is a 2/1 creature for 2. It's pretty terrible in constructed, but it's quite alright in limited, like draft or sealed. 2/1 creature for 2 is absolutely fine in limited, despite what people say. Yeah, Orc player passes the turn back to the human player. Human player draws a Sniper of Gawain. Now, Sniper of Gawain is a 5-cost creature, 2 attack, 2 defense. Whenever it enters play, it deals damage to target troop or target champion equal to its attack power. So if it enters the battlefield as a 2/2, it deals 2 damage somewhere in the battlefield. But the human player plays his Lord Alexander, which enters as a 3/2. It has speed, and it also inspires other troops to have speed. So it's pretty good. He passes the turn back to the Orc player. Orc player is taking his time, playing a Cruel Web Crawler. Now, this is a troop with 3 attack and 2 defense, which costs 3. But whenever it deals damage to target opposing champion, you get sort of a token card, which is a 2/2 spider creature. So if this guy manages to deal damage to your opponent, you get a free creature, which is pretty good. But you need to have a way to make sure that he gets through. And the human player here draws, I don't know what this guy's name is, but he's 3 costs, 3/2 creature, I think. Yeah, 3/2 creature. And he inspires other creatures for +1/+1. So he's pretty decent, but he's kind of a late drop. And since he's a 3 cost creature, he gets all other inspired triggers on the battlefield. So he has +1/+1 from the Ruby Pyromancer, the Guild Mariner, but he also has speed from the Lord Alexander. So he doesn't want to attack here into his opponent's troop right now. He wants to save his all his inspired triggers for the Legionary of Gawain that he has in his hand. Legionary of Gawain is a 4/4 creature for 5 mana. Whenever it enters play, it deals damage equal to all the inspired triggers he got when he enters the battlefield, to each opposing troop and each opposing champion. So if you have 3 creatures with inspire when he enters play, you deal 3 damage to each opposing creature and each opposing champion. In this case, it's just 1 opposing champion. And the orc player here is playing Murder, which is a 3 cost quick action spell, which just destroys 1 creature on the battlefield. It's extremely powerful, very good in limited and very good in constructed. Human player here draws another Lord Alexander. He will probably play it. No, he actually won't play it because it just showed us that it is a unique creature. You can only have one creature that's one creature with the same name on the battlefield. You can have 2 creatures with the same name that are unique. So he doesn't have anything to play here. He just attacks with his Lord Alexander, trades for the Magwood Zombie, which is a pretty terrible trade, but he has another one in his hand, so he can just replace it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have attacked there if he didn't have the extra one in his hand. Orc player here uses his charge ability, which is costs 4 charge points and 2 health, and it draws him a card. He plays here the Giant Corpse Fly. It is a 1/1 creature for 3. It has flying, and whenever it enters play, your opponent discards 1 card. So the human player here chooses to discard the Sniper of Gawain because he has a much better card in hand. He only needs 1 resource, and he can pretty much wipe his opponent's board. Draws the Sniper of Gawain though, which is alright. I mean, it could be worse. He cannot play anything here, but he can attack with his Lord Alexander, which is not a great attack because his opponent can double block his Lord Alexander and just very efficiently trade. He will lose only 1 creature. It's a pretty bad creature, and the human player loses a very good creature of his. So that was a quite terrible play on the human player's part. Here we can see the screen where you can assign damage. When you block with multiple creatures, the attacking player gets to decide where how the damage is assigned. It is the Orcs player turn again. Plays the 6th resource. And he's in a pretty good position right now. I mean, both players are quite even right now. What does he do? Plays 4 mana. Oh, he reverted his pile of bones back into a skeleton warrior. And he passes his turn back to the human player, who draws the Pyromancer, and he's just going to play it because he doesn't have any other play, and he wants as many inspired creatures in play as possible before he drops his Legionary of Gawain, so that he can get maximum value. Passes the turn back to the Orc player. Orc player attacks with his flying creature, because why not? I mean, the human player cannot block because he doesn't have any creatures with flying. And the Orc player plays Necessary Sacrifice, which is a basic action and costs 4 resources. And as an additional cost, you have to sacrifice a troop as well. So he sacrificed his flying 1/1 creature and drew 3 cards, which is pretty good if you ask me. So he has quite the card advantage right now. Plays a Mango Zombie, which is not a great card right now, but it serves a decent purpose. It stops human player from attacking. He draws the 3/2 Inspire guy again, which it's actually not as bad as it might look. I mean, he's stacking Inspire triggers for his Legionnaire, so that's always good. And as soon as he draws another resource, he can play him for a pretty devastating effect. Plays his creature. It doesn't have speed, so probably not attacking with his other creatures. Orc player plays his 8th resource. That's pretty good. I mean, 8 resources is a lot. Plays another Corpse Fly, so the human player has to discard a card again, which is quite annoying at this stage. He would love to keep both of his cards, because they would be pretty useful, but he cannot, so he keeps only his Legionnaire. Orc player uses his charge power as well. Pays 4 charge points and 2 life to draw a card, which at this stage is great for him because he's still at 15 life points. Currently, human player's turn, draws a Guild Mariner. Again, not amazing, but it does give him more inspired triggers for the Legionnaire, so that's always good. Shows that it gets inspired trigger from the other Guild Mariner. Always good to have. So it enters as a 1/2 creature. Here he can attack with his 4/3 guy, but it doesn't seem like he wants to, because his opponent can pretty efficiently block with multiple creatures, and that's not a good trade for the human player. So the Orc player's turn right now. He has 9 resources. That's ridiculous. That's way too many. He attacks with his 1/1 because again, why not? Gets 3 points of damage. He has 4 cards in hand. Plays a Murder on the 4/3 creature. Not much happening right now. Passes the turn back to the human player. Human player draws a card, and it's blessing the fallen. Should probably be blessing of the fallen, I'm guessing. This is a constant. It costs 3, and troops with inspire in your graveyard count as if they're in play when you play other creatures. So even if they're in the graveyard, they still their inspire trigger still activates whenever you play a creature. So that's pretty good. But as we saw on the live stream, the card is broken right now. It's not working properly. So yeah, the Orc player plays a Shadow Grove Witch. Shadow Grove Witch is a 2/2 creature for 4, and whenever it enters play, uh, opposing champion reveals a card from his hand randomly. And if this card is a troop, it gets a permanent -2/-2. You can see here the Legionnaire got a permanent -2/-2, which is not that big of a deal for him, because he still gets to keep his enter play ability, which is the main part you want from the card. The Orc player is getting pretty aggressive, attacks with 2 creatures. Human player probably won't be blocking here. Doesn't want to trade any of its creatures. He just want this next 1 resource to play his Legionnaire and clean out the board. Orc player doesn't have any place, so he passes the turn back, and finally the human player gets his diamond resource, plays it, and will probably instantly play his Legionnaire, pretty much clearing the board. Orc player will get to keep his Bone Warrior. It will transform into a pile of bones. It won't die. But everything else will pretty much be destroyed. And for some reason Bone Warrior isn't transforming. But yeah, this is alpha, so it doesn't really matter here, because your player has the mana to transform him back. Human player is attacking with everything. It's not scary anymore. Just goes in with everything. And he will be dealing 4 damage here. Yep, just 4 damage. Nothing else to do. Doesn't have any cards in hand. Yep, passes the turn back to your player. And at this stage, he pretty much has won the game. I mean, there is certain things that your player can do to turn the game around, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't exactly remember the game from the stream, so the Orc player here plays a Life Siphon, which allows him to pay as much resources as he wants, and then he deals that much damage to target opposing champion, and he also heals that much damage from his own champion. And it's human's turn right now. Human player's turn right now. He gets his shield trainer, which is alright. It's not amazing, but it's decent. Plays the shield trainer. Still has quite a superior board state. Even though he's at still 6 life points. I mean, if the Orc player has another life siphon, he can pretty easily kill the human player. But the human player attacks with everything, so he'll be dealing 8 damage if the Orc player doesn't block, which he does. Blocks the a Legionnaire of Gawain. Just saves 4 points of damage, which is pretty smart. I mean, he could have gone for the Guild Mariner and just dealt with him, but he chose to prevent 3 extra damage. He transforms back to a pile of bones. And the human player here is using his charge power, which is for four charge points, or 5 charge points. Yeah, 5 charge points. He gives a permanent +2/+all to target creature. Orc player here, transforming his power bombs back into a skeleton warrior, and plays a Pact of Pain, which he can pay 2 life and 2 resources in order to draw a card. It's a constant, so it remains in the battlefield. Human's player turn right now. And let's see what he draws. He draws a resource, which is quite useless right now. He'll probably just attacking with everything again. Yep. This is pretty devastating here. We'll be dealing quite a lot of damage. Attacks with everything, right? Yeah. Well, it's what he should do. I mean, at this point, he shouldn't care for his 1/1 creature. It really doesn't make any difference right now. He should just attack with everything. I mean, he is missing out on 1 damage, because the Orc player here is definitely blocking a 4/4 creature here. So it doesn't really matter. Yep. Transforms into pile of bones. He can, at the end of the human player's turn, just transform it back into a skeleton warrior. And he has 10 resources right now, which is ridiculous. Let's see what he does, and if he can turn the game around. I'm going to say no. Uses Pact of Pain, down to 2 life, plays a creature, and I'll be assuming this turn the human player wins. It's just a hunch I have. Yep, Sniper of Gawain, he can just play this and just kill his opponent with this card. Or he can just attack with everything, it doesn't really matter. Yep, human player wins. Yeah, enters play, deals 4 damage somewhere. He chooses his opponent's champion, and that's pretty much it. Game over. Yeah, that was my commentary of the game, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.